and gentlemen, and it's now time to get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind. This is a lightning flash update for March 28th, 2020. Thank you very much for tuning back into the channel. We're going to wait until a few more people get into the stream. So far, it's 0 people watching, 0 thumbs up, which I pretty much expected. Oh, Nate the Great. Nate the Great is the first. How you doing, Mr. Nate the Great? Here's what I want you to do. Hey, Alan Holland Jr. He was my guest on the Lightning Flash update a few weeks back. How are you, sir? Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Share the stream out. Yes, I know the quality is rather bad. It is nighttime. It is Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time to be specific. But we are still going to have a damn good time because you're always going to have a good time with DJ Storms. Anyway, I am not alone. I'm doing great, Alan. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing okay. My guest here on the Lightning Flash update is a rather newbie, I would say, in the content creating world in the IWC. He did have me on his podcast a few weeks back. He is the creator of the Blue Riott podcast, lifelong wrestling fan, DJ Storms Posse member. Please help me welcome to the Lightning Flash update for the very first time, the Blue Riott. How are you, sir? As you're trying to hold back your fucking laughs over my intro, which actually caused me to laugh.
I wanted to say that.
What?
Oh my goodness, I could not. I was about to burst out laughing whenever you started doing that.
I mean, I got that effect, you know. I'm damn good at what I do.
But hi, I am the Blue Riott. You can follow me on Twitter at Blue Riott if you haven't already. I did have Don Manning on my podcast just a couple weeks ago. He was actually the second guest I've ever had with episode 4 of my podcast. If you'd like to follow my podcast, you can follow me as well at Blue Riott Pod. And good news for the podcast as well, I just opened up a Patreon page. I actually just had to go back through and edit my tiers because I was asking for a little bit more than I should with only having 4 episodes on my podcast. You can, what's the word for it? You can, what's the word? Patreon?
Pledge.
You can pledge to my Patreon. Thank you, DJ. You are a great friend. You can pledge to my Patreon at patreon.com/Blue Riott Pod.
And I will post all the links. I will post the link to his Twitter, Instagram, all in the description after the Lightning Flash update finishes streaming. You can follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS because I make history every single time I go live on YouTube and every single video I post because that's what I do. You can follow me on Instagram and Periscope at The DJ Storms. Add me on Facebook as well. All the links are in the description after the stream is finished. Also, you guys killed it on the Dark Side of the Ring review. I will also post a link to that. That's currently sitting at 142 views, 24 likes. I could very well make that a reoccurring thing. There is one that is taking place next Tuesday, I believe, where New Jack and his story is going to be told. I'll definitely take a look at that. Also, for collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is StormsTakeOver@gmail.com because I'm taking over this motherfucker. And on top of that, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. We're on the road to 2K subscribers. We're going to try and get to it by the summer. I know the progression is slow, but I mean, come on. We're all locked down or in quarantine. Come on. You can get me to at least 1.8K at least by mid-April, I would say. Oh, yes, Owen Hart is supposed... Oh, really? Owen Hart. I got to take a look at that, Alan. Also, hit the like button if you haven't already done so. We're going to try to get this video to 10, 15 likes as usual. And I want you to comment down below. Keep the chat alive as well. And I want you to hit that notifications bell with the huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. I mean, come on, I'm making this app interesting. Anyway, enough self-brand promotion. Well, actually, one more self-brand promotion. I want you guys to go and like the DJ Storms business page, and I could very well send you a request to join the DJ Storms Posse fan group on Facebook. Earl Cole, baby! How you doing, brother? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm here with the Blue Riott. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to skip all of the skip the rest. Well, there really is no more self-brand promotion BS to do. We're going to get straight into the weekly show reviews. We're reviewing 7 weekly shows, as per usual, on the Lightning Flash update. We're going to get right into it with Monday Night Raw, or Monday Night Snore, as I like to call it. I will say, though, that the presentation of Raw was a lot better. They took away all those empty seats and they moved the hard cam to show the entrance ramp in the PC, which is what they should have done from the beginning. So I will give them credit there. The presentation was a lot better. We did get one very good match, and we did get a couple of damn good promos, but ultimately, it really was not anything special. Yes, we did have some good promos, but at the end of the day, it's Monday Night Raw. When is Monday Night Raw ever good? It was decent for what it was, but it wasn't good. Lesnar and Heyman kicked off the show. Heyman promised that Lesnar will make the beating at Mania with McIntyre quick, but it will be anything but painless. It's going to be very painful. We were told by Paul Heyman, that McIntyre is just going to be another bitch that tried, and he will fall. A lot of feedback from the microphone. Yeah, I know. That's on his part. It's with the laptop. You know, it is what it is. But see, I don't got any fancy equipment, man. I don't got any fancy equipment. So, Paul Heyman said that Drew McIntyre is just going to be another bitch that tried, and he will fall at the feet of the reigning, defending, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Brock Lesnar. And that was pretty much it. Paul Heyman, very good at what he does, I will say. It wasn't really anything too overly special. But it was decent for what it was. And that was pretty much it. Stereotypical, nevertheless, from Lesnar and Heyman. But it was still very good. What were your thoughts on this promo?
Same old. It's always the same with Paul Heyman. He always tries to build up the opponent before he decides to go, oh, well, you're not as good as Brock Lesnar. I've got a bad feeling of what might happen at WrestleMania between these two due to unforeseen circumstances that surrounded WrestleMania. I will probably get to that whenever we get to talking about SmackDown and the news about that show. As for Brock versus Drew itself, I would love it if we could just see Drew win the title and never see Brock again, or at least not never, but like for quite a while, instead of always seeing him lose the title and then come back a month later and get back in the title scene all over again.
We'll see what happens there. I would assume that they would have to make the right decision. I don't see Drew McIntyre losing, not after everything that they've done. They went right into a replay. They went right into a replay of Brock Lesnar versus John Cena versus Seth Rollins from the Royal Rumble 2015. Listen, this was without a doubt one of the best triple threat matches that the company has ever produced. Right up there with Benoit, Michaels, and Triple H from WrestleMania 20. Right up there with Daniel Bryan, Batista, and Orton from WrestleMania 30. But it's just so lazy. I'm sorry. It's just so lazy how we have to see replays of past matches. Yes, some of them were good, but at the end of the day, I mean, come on. It's just showing you that WWE is lazy. Ethan Craddock just joined the chat. How you doing, Mr. Ethan Craddock, my emo brother? Have you seen McIntyre's little train? Yeah, I've seen his little training session on social media. Guys lifting kegs and boulders in the mountains of Scotland, okay? I'm actually quite jealous that I can't do that. What do you want them to do? I'll tell you what I want them to do, Earl Cole. I want them to give McIntyre the title, and that's it. This Brandon, how you doing, this Brandon? How you doing? Be sure to hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Then, after this whole replay, we went into a promo from AJ Styles, or an interview with AJ Styles. Says that The Undertaker has lost control of everything, says that The Undertaker looks like he was wearing maternity pants and he looked like a gothic version of the Tiger King. Styles then brought up The Undertaker's quote-unquote Save the Tiger promotional video with Michelle McCool. Alan Holland Jr. just said, if McIntyre loses, we riot with 2 T's, hashtag pun intended. So shout out to you there. How you doing, Sammy Talks? Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. So, AJ Styles. He was going on and on about Undertaker losing his mystique. He doesn't even know who this man is anymore. He says he doesn't want Mark Calloway. He wants the Undertaker of yesteryear, and he challenges the Undertaker to a boneyard match. Earl Cole, I don't know what that means, to be quite honest with you. I have no idea what a boneyard match is. I don't know if it's a buried alive match with a PG name. I don't know if... Yeah, I was actually about to ask you if you knew what a boneyard match was. Listen, I have immense respect for AJ Styles, and I've actually been enjoying how they have been building the feud between AJ Styles and The Undertaker, even though we still don't know why The Undertaker even came back to begin with. I have been enjoying AJ Styles' promos. We'll see what a boneyard match is. I actually want to hear what you have to say, but I do want to say one thing. If you give a shit about Undertaker and AJ Styles, no matter how good AJ Styles is, no matter how good his promos are, no matter if you're a fan of The Undertaker, and The Undertaker's my favorite of all time, but if you give a shit about this match, you're really setting yourself up for disappointment. I'm sorry. I just needed to point that out there. Colton, what is a boneyard match, if you can enlighten us?
Well, AJ Styles actually did an interview where he was asked about this too, and I believe he said on the day that he was supposed to tell people it was a boneyard match, he didn't know himself. But then, in the interview, he was saying that it's supposed to be like a graveyard or a buried alive match, but they couldn't use those words due to the circumstances going on in the world today. Then again, why did they book a last man standing match? Anyways, so AJ Styles was then asked, so what is a boneyard match? Is it kind of like a street fight in a graveyard? And AJ Styles basically replied with that with bingo. So that's about as much as we know about it. It's some kind of street fight in a graveyard.
I guess this is going to be a rather cinematic WrestleMania.
Which I would not mind. That would not be a bad idea.
So, from there, we went into a tag team match. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander versus Andrade and Angel Garza. Street Profits actually came out to watch the match, and they were on commentary before the commercial break. Cedric got the hot tag. We had a forearm strike followed by a low drop kick, a slingshot flatliner on Garza for a 2. We had a gourd buster, shooting star press combination on Garza for a 2. Garza with the super kick to Ricochet, and then he was caught with a drop kick from the middle rope, or coming off the middle rope by Ricochet. Cedric with the neuralizer on Andrade for a 2. Garza was isolating Cedric before Ricochet got the hot tag. We had Cedric saving Ricochet, or he got saved by Ricochet. Ricochet with the Fosby flop over the top rope on Garza. Meishinuku driver on Andrade for a 2. We had a spinning back elbow for a botched ending, which the referee gave the first ever 4 count in professional wrestling history. And yes, Earl Cole, we know Andrade is out. I'm going to talk about that once we get to the news, rumors, and reports. After that, we had a brawl with Andrade, Garza, and the Street Profits, and that was pretty much it. Andrade is currently out, which we will go over when we get to the news, rumors, and reports section. Right now, we're just going to stick with Monday Night Raw. Ricochet and Cedric, I will tell you this. If WWE wants to, I think that they could really benefit Ricochet and Cedric Alexander by pairing them together. I really think that they could be a very good tag team if given the opportunity. Will WWE give them the opportunity? Probably not. What the fuck have Angel Garza and Andrade done to deserve a Raw Tag Team title opportunity? I really don't need to go over that, but, you know, it is what it is. Andrade is currently out now, and supposedly I heard from PW Insider that apparently Austin Theory is taking Andrade's place, for those of you who were unaware of it. What were your thoughts on this tag team match?
I have 2 thoughts on this match. For one, I made a joke after that match saying, 3 ain't enough, man. He needs 4.
Oh, God.
Which is a joke made off of Big E's old theme song. Second thing I had I hate the backwards ass booking they do of announcing a match at a pay-per-view and then going, oh, well, you're going to also see them in a match tonight. And it's like, okay, why don't you make the match that they're going to be in, the challengers, in fact, a number one contenders match, so that it's not making people think, well, what if the people that are now being the challengers for the titles lose? Like, it's asking all the wrong questions whenever they do that. Like, I related this back to a match last July, in fact, where Samoa Joe just attacked Kofi Kingston and then suddenly had a title match just after losing his own title. And then the next night on SmackDown, they were like, oh, well, Kofi's now going to face Dolph Ziggler again, and if Dolph wins, he's going to be added to the match. It's like, well, why didn't you just instead do Joe versus Ziggler in a number one contenders match? I get that they don't like using number one contender anymore, and they always have to use the word opportunity. But like, I just feel like it would have been better to not announce the match prior to the Raw and then go, okay, this tag team match is number one contenders match. Andrade and Angel Garza won anyway, so it wouldn't have changed anything. Like,
makes my head hurt.
Yes, it does make my head hurt, very much so.
Then we had the Street Profits facing Brandon Vink and Shane Thorne. And it was pretty much an academic match from there. Hot tag from Angelo Dawkins. Then they hit the cash out, and that was it. And the Street Profits win. Do we really need to talk about that match, or you just want to move on to the Shayna Baszler segment?
I do want to say one thing. I am really into this team of Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink.
They actually had a match on NXT against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, which we will talk about. From there, we had Shayna Baszler being interviewed by Charlie Caruso. Shayna Baszler said that once she takes the title from Becky Lynch, it will destroy her. She wants that title because she loves to destroy. Becky Lynch came out of nowhere just before they were about to talk about what happened at Survivor Series, which I'm still pissed about, how they are not even acknowledging that that is the basis of this entire feud. And Shayna Baszler was embarrassed by Becky at the end of Survivor Series. They hadn't even mentioned that once. So that has been fucking bothering me for a while now. I just want to point that out there. That has been the basis. That was the blueprint of this entire feud. Shayna Baszler wants revenge on Becky for Becky putting her through a table after Shayna Baszler beat Bayley and Becky at Survivor Series. Becky was never beat in that match. Now Shayna Baszler wants to find out what happens if Bayley was never involved in that match. I mean, come on. You can't get any more simpler than that. An idiot could figure that out. And sure enough, there are a lot of idiots in this community that could probably figure that out. And trust me, I have a lot of professional hate for a lot of people in this community. Everyone hates me, and I hate everyone. Either they are going or I am going, and I am certainly not going. Anyway, sorry, I got off in a little tangent there. Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch, this segment was a complete waste of time in my eyes. It really didn't do anything for either woman. They've done all they could. Supposedly this match is actually set to main event night 1, which I will rant about. I'm going to rant about once we get to the news, rumors, and reports section. But how about you? Take on this.
Who are we supposed to like in this match? Because
I got Shayna.
I get what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to be a surprise attack on Shayna, but what was really this in response to? Like, Shayna hasn't done any kind of attack on Becky in the last few weeks, other than the biting segment, but like that was at least a month ago. So
it was on February 10th, over a month ago.
Right, so like, I mean, I would understand if Shayna would have done something like that on this show, or maybe the week before, but like there was no real reason why Becky was like, oh, I'm gonna come up behind you in your interview and hit you with a chair because you deserve it. Like, what did she deserve it from?
Whatever, man. Moving on. Aleister Black defeated Leon Ruff, Black Mass, and Black wins. He's apparently facing Bobby Lashley. Well, not anymore, which we will talk about, but can I just say something? Before Bobby Lashley got quarantined, they announced Bobby Lashley versus Aleister Black at WrestleMania. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Aleister Black has been on the main roster for over a year. I don't think he has crossed paths with Bobby Lashley once. But yet here they are in a match at WrestleMania, nonetheless. Yet I don't think they have had one Any one-on-one confrontation, whether it be in a segment or a match. Am I wrong? Or did I miss something?
I mean, no, you didn't miss anything, but, like, my question with this whole Aleister Black thing is Vince ever going to remember that Aleister Black's been doing this whole, wanting to pick a fight shtick for, like, a year now? Because every time I think about this, and I think about how long Aleister Black's just been doing this whole sitting in a room, wanting to pick a fight, and then now he's still fighting jobbers on Raw. I just can picture somebody going up to Vince and be like, so what are we going to do with Aleister Black next? And Vince is going to be like, well, we still need to build him up. Let's just keep having beat jobbers and ask for a fight. And somebody being like, Vince, you do realize we've been doing this whole story for like a year and it's gone nowhere.
And on top of that, can I just say something here? Akira Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin, Sami Zayn, Cesaro, Buddy Murphy, AJ Styles, Eric Young. These are all the individuals who are former champions in this company that Aleister Black has beaten. Where the fuck is his title shot? Why isn't he getting a U.S. title shot at WrestleMania? And never mind a U.S. title shot. Why isn't he getting a WWE Championship title shot at WrestleMania? Because if my memory serves me correct, Aleister Black has only been pinned once throughout his entire run on the main roster. This man has only been pinned once. Yet, he has no title shot. Meanwhile, you take a look at Naomi, you take a look at the Street Profits, you take a look at Buddy Murphy, you take a look at Seth Rollins, and all these guys, they haven't been gaining any momentum as of lately, but yet they're getting title shot after title shot after title shot after title shot. I mean, come on, a little logic, please!
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like they don't even realize that they've been building Aleister Black for a whole year, and that everybody knows who he is now, but yet they just decide, they just want to continue on with the same old stuff over and over again.
Speaking of Seth Rollins, you're damn right, Oracle, they don't respect Aleister Black. Share the stream out, let's see if we can get some more people in here. We only got 3 likes, come on, it's a Saturday night, and everyone's in quarantine. We should at least have 15 people in this. Anyway, speaking of Seth Rollins, Owens came out for his promo against Seth Rollins, and apparently, Owens wanted Seth Rollins to come out and address his challenge. Rollins came out, and he said that he was confused as to why Kevin Owens has the home field advantage. Rollins talked about his days in FCW, how he stepped into a dilapidated warehouse, and he built this building on his blood, sweat, and tears. He said that Owens doesn't realize that he had to succeed for people like Kevin Owens to step into a beautiful facility like the WWE PC. He ran down everything that he did before he got to the dilapidated warehouse, and he said that didn't matter. He was told that didn't matter. He said that Owens is a fool for challenging him at WrestleMania. Does he even know the track record at WrestleMania that Rollins has? He became Intercontinental Champion. He became World Champion. He beat Lesnar. He beat Triple H. He became Universal Champion. And Owens wasn't even good enough to be on last year's WrestleMania. He said that Owens does not stand a chance against him come April 4th or April 5th. Whatever day they may clash. Let me just tell you right now that this may have been Seth Rollins' best promo under the Monday Night Messiah character. I thought that this promo was great. Seth Rollins hit every single possible point, and thank you, May Solis. Thank you very much for the shout out. He hit every single possible point, and he brought in all the possible real-life statistics and scenarios that he could possibly bring in. Rollins hit a grand slam with this promo. I thought that this was excellently done, and this was probably the best promo that they could have done to sell anyone on their matchup at WrestleMania. I think that if they want to, I think that if they let these guys go, they could actually put on a damn good match. This was an excellent promo by Rollins. easily his best promo under the Monday Night Messiah character. Loved it. How about you?
I mean, yeah, everything you said was valid. It was a great promo. Like, all of their great promos that they ever do are ones where they work off of precedent, off their past. And like I always say every single year, Seth Rollins isn't undefeated at WrestleMania, but he has won a match at every WrestleMania he has been at. He won, like, if I can go back through their history, Seth Rollins won 2 6-man tags with the Shield at 29 and 30.
I was at 29.
He lost at 31 to Randy Orton, but that was the same night he won the WWE Championship. 32, he missed, unfortunately. 33, yeah, he beat Triple H. 34, which was where I was at, he won the Intercontinental title, and then last year he won the Universal title. So he has won at every WrestleMania, so why should anybody be on Kevin Owens' side in this case? Like, Seth Rollins does have the advantage in this.
Definitely loved what he did there. Definitely. They, speaking of 34, they actually replayed Charlotte versus Asuka from Mania 34, which is it was a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I just realized this. There's a common trend with WWE playing all of these matches from past WrestleManias: Cena, Wyatt, Undertaker, Lesnar, Charlotte, Asuka. The wrong people won in all of those matches. So if there's one thing that everyone should take into consideration, if there's one takeaway from modern WrestleManias, is that WWE most of the time fails to do right. So that, just throwing that out there. And
can I say one thing about this?
Yes.
As in regards to Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, like I said, I was actually present for that match, and I remember being like in awe by the fact that Asuka had just lost. I think the way they handled that match in its context, I don't think that Charlotte winning was a bad decision. The bad decision was what all came after for Asuka, because if you really think about what happened around that weekend, had Asuka won the championship from Charlotte, she would have probably been the one that Carmella cashed in on, because you had to take into account as well Carmella having the money to make contract. And I think with that, they did go a smart route, just not necessarily with everything, like I said, that happened to Asuka afterwards up until TLC that year.
If they wanted to, you know what they should have done? Look, they should have had Naomi defeat Natalya at SummerSlam of 2017. Then Carmella could have cashed in. She could have held the title till November. Charlotte could have won it then. And then Asuka could have won it at WrestleMania. They fucked that up because Carmella regressed in the ring, and Carmella became a complete fucking failure as a champion in the months to follow. I don't give a shit. Carmella was just as bad, if not worse, than Alexa Bliss of that year. Ridiculous.
It's a sad example of WWE putting themselves into a corner they could have completely avoided.
But now moving on to the ending of Raw, before we get into AEW Dark, Randy Orton addressed Edge's challenge. Orton says that Adam Copeland is a junkie for his own ego. Randy said that he spat in Foley's face and took the damn torch from him when everyone thought that he was going to have his torch passed him. Orton says that all of his accomplishments are because he had grit. Grit isn't sitting on your couch. What's going on, Leo? Grit is not sitting on your couch wondering what if. Grit is longevity. Grit to Orton is being constant. And no one has more grit than Randy Orton, according to Randy Orton. Orton said that Edge would have done the same things as he did if he had the opportunity, because Edge is the ultimate opportunist. Orton says that he's going to write Edge's last chapter, and he accepts his match at WrestleMania. Another great promo by Orton, and this could very well be the best match of the night. If they play their cards right, they could very well go all over the PC, just like Gargano and Ciampa did on NXT a few weeks back. I thought this was very good. How about you? And then we move on to AEW Dark.
I mean, yeah, this was a good promo, but there was one problem I had with it, which was, do we not already have a rivalry on the show where they're using the wrestler's real name for GP? Like, that was the most annoying part about this, is that we already have AJ Styles going, Mark Calloway this, Mark Calloway that, and now we got Randy Orton saying Adam Copeland. It's like, can we not copy each other? Like, I know you guys only have so many resources and so much that you can do, but don't copy off of something else whenever you can make this your own rivalry.
I don't necessarily think they're copying from it, but I do think that it does add a lot more. When you add real life into a scenario, especially with Orton and Edge, it almost calls for it in a way because of what they've been through.
I mean, yeah, like you said, adding real life does make something better, but I think there is an extent to it, and like I don't want to have to keep hearing Adam Copeland because, like, I mean, Mark Calloway, that's a name that the Undertaker's actually used, and it actually sounds like a cool name. You get Adam Copeland in there, and it's like, nah, just stick with Edge. Edge sounds a lot better.
We'll see what happens.
Not to damn the man and say that his name's not good. Like I can't say anything about people's names, but as for what the rivalry was talking about, I just think that it would have been better just to stick with Edge and not bring up real names.
We'll see how that match plays out. We do have one more Raw before WrestleMania. I'm actually debating whether I should do a Lightning Flash update next week because I actually got a lot of uploads to do next week. I'm going to put up a quarantine video with Thunder. That was actually one more thing. Me and Thunder, we've been in quarantine as of lately, so we actually have our own lives inside the house doing a lot of quarantine activities, which you will find out next week. Also, the rundown for WrestleMania, that will also be up next week. Next Thursday is my birthday, actually. The realest motherfucker in this community is coming of age. 21, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be on Thursday, April 2nd. And I will be having one of my best friends, Joseph Conlon, on the channel to talk about WrestleMania. That is going to be on Thursday, April 2nd, my birthday. And then on Friday, I am planning on doing a review on the New Jack Dark Side of the Ring. I will keep you guys posted. And then, of course, on Saturday, I'm going to debate whether I do the Lightning Flash update or not. I'm still looking for a guest. We'll figure something out. But regardless, right now, let's get into AEW Dark. This was a, absolutely. Well, actually, no, Earl Cole, I will not have a shot because I'm actually straight edge. I don't drink. And I will never. I live a clean lifestyle, actually. But, no. I have remained loyal. I've remained loyal to my self-pledge. Nothing this world will never break me. Remember that. AEW Dark. This really wasn't anything special. Really wasn't a special show at all. It was really more of a show that advanced the win-loss records of a lot of people. Outside of a decent tag match between Rob Anthony and Shawn Spears versus SCU, it really wasn't all that special. How you doing, plant the seed and receive the reeds? I wish I could do the same. Yeah. You wish you could do the same? Really? Do the same as what? You wish you could... You wish you had the same willpower as me to go straight edge? Or are you straight edge? I don't know. Anyway. So, AEW Dark. Outside of a decent tag match with Rob Anthony, Shawn Spears, and SCU, this really wasn't anything special. Again, a lot of academic matches. There was about 6 matches on the show. A lot of them to really advance the win-loss record. We had Joe Alonzo versus Jake Hager. Jake Hager pretty much destroyed this guy. Wheelbarrow into the German suplex, Uranagi, and then a head and arm triangle, and Hager wins. Do you want to go match by match, or do you want me to go over the entire show and then you give your thoughts on the entire show, or do you want to go match by match?
Let's just go over the entire show because 4 out of the 6 matches weren't really much to talk about. Okay,
so after this match, then we went into John Cruz and Matt Sauls versus QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. QT and Dustin with the quick tags and out. We had a double team Russian leg sweep combo for 2. Cruz and Sales isolated Marshall before Dustin got the hot tag. We had a power slam to Cruz and then a double team reverse power slam into a cutter for the win. I actually am liking the team between Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall. If they want to, I think they could be a very nice underdog babyface tag team that could add a lot to an already stacked tag team division. I do really think they need a mid-card title. I'm a fan of QT Marshall, but I really think they need a mid-card title because all of these individuals in tag team matches, yeah, it's good, but you don't want a tag team division that is overflowing. Now, I definitely want to see more. I definitely want to see more of QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes. I definitely want to see more of what they can do. Moving on, we had Shawn Spears and Robert Ego Anthony first time seeing him, versus SCU. It was Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. Anthony and Kazarian started off the match trading arm bars before Shawn Spears came in. He was caught with an arm drag. SCU with the double team moves on Spears, slingshot elbow, and leg drop. Rob Anthony, he got involved with a flipping gourd buster on Daniels. Daniels got the hot tag. He lit up Anthony and Spears. Spears was caught with the guillotine leg drop, rolling DVD for a 2 on Kazarian. Spears walked out on Anthony, actually. That allowed SCU to hit the best Meltzer ever for the 1-2-3. Decent tag team match. Yeah, you definitely have to get back into dark. Most weeks it's actually very good. This week was more academic. I feel as though they kind of half-assed it, considering it was, it's been a pandemic and all that. But after the match, Shawn Spears actually hit a C4, the running Death Valley driver, on Anthony. So apparently Robert Anthony is not the partner. We had Shug D versus Kip Sabian. Shug D had Sabian off his game in the beginning. Ford actually got involved with a drop kick on Sug from behind the referee's back. Sug was able to kick out after a spinning neckbreaker off the ropes. Shug D with the rolling elbow for a 2, and then Sabian locked in a grounded octopus stretch. What are my thoughts on the commentary on Dynamite? I actually liked it. It was new, it was innovative. The people were trying to have fun, so I can appreciate that. Good to see Kip Sabian get a win. Again, they really need a mid-card title. They really can't keep on holding off on a mid-card title. It is really, really going to hurt a lot of talent like Sabian and Darby and Janela. Moving on, we had Brandon Cutler versus Colt Cabana. This really wasn't anything special either. A lot of academic matches. I actually expected a lot more from Colt Cabana and Brandon Cutler, considering that they are two very good wrestlers. Brandon Cutler's underrated as fuck. We had back and forth technical wrestling from both men to begin the match. Cabana with the head scissor takedown, Cutler with a tope suicida, Cabana with the bionic elbow and the Superman pin stretch for the win, and Cabana remains undefeated in AEW. Corey Hollis and Mike Reed versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela. Another academic tag team match. Do you think we will get a good WrestleMania or not? No, I do not. Matter of fact, I think it's going to be one of the worst WrestleManias, if not the worst of all time, Leo. So Corey Hollis and Mike Reed, they were on the receiving end of a lot of double team action from Sonny Kiss and Janela. Hollis wore down Kiss before Janela got the hot tag. Janela with an elbow drop off of Kiss, off the top rope, and then we had the split is it. The split-legged leg drop off the top rope, and Kiss and Janela got the win, and that was it to cap off AEW Dark. Truthfully, I prefer the tag team of Brandon Cutler and Sonny Kiss over Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. I think Joey Janela works much better as a singles competitor, and I think he could be a great mid-card champion once they introduce that mid-card title. That was pretty much AEW Dark. What were your thoughts on the entire show overall?
Well, there were 3 things I did want to say about this. The first being, this show had a problem that even NXT did, which we'll talk about later, where this because of this pandemic, it had more matches on the show that it felt like it didn't really need all the matches it had. Like you said, it was just mostly on this show to get people's win-loss records up. Another thing I wanted to talk about was, this was only my 3rd AEW Dark to actually watch. The first one I watched, because I was there, I was at the February 26th edition of AEW Dynamite, so I watched the AEW Dark that came live the week after that. I watched last week's Dark, and then I watched this week's, and out of all 3, I believe this week's was the weakest, because of the fact that they just had so much, and it was just like, it felt boring because of that. There was only really 3 matches I felt like were talk-worthy on this. The first being the Shawn Spears tag match, which was good to build a story. Obviously, Rob Anthony, I believe you said his name was, is not going to be the partner, and it's building Shawn Spears for something I didn't really think he was going to be built for, but then again, that's what you get for losing to Cody on pay-per-view. The other match was the Colt Cabana versus Brandon Cutler match. It actually had a story to it, too. Brandon Cutler's got a story going on about having a losing streak, and Colt Cabana's got his over a winning streak, which I also want to say I believe that we're smelling the hints of a heel turn from Colt Cabana, and I believe if he does, I think he would be really good with it. kind of like an Asuka-esque heel turn where it's like, I want to keep my streak, so I'm going to do whatever I want to keep it. So I thought that was a pretty good match. And the one thing I wanted to say about the Sonny Kiss Joey Janela match is I am slightly worried that Sonny Kiss is going to pull a Psycho Sid and hurt himself doing that split off the ropes.
Oh God, I remember that. I'd rather not relive those days. His leg was hanging off. It was like just dangling there, man. Why'd you gotta bring that up? It was dangling there. Anyway, AEW Dynamite, our third weekly show. This was actually a great episode of Dynamite. They've actually been doing a great job. Yes, Ethan Craddock said the same thing. Don't remind me of that. Are you watching the live chat as you're doing this?
Yeah.
I had a feeling you were, because one of my friends, JoJo from California, shout out to her actually. She starred on a special edition Storm stream. She actually starred on the 10th one, and she was watching the Storm stream. She was actually in the chat as she was starring on it. So, AEW Dynamite. This was actually a great show. They are doing a damn good job. How you doing, Javier Music 04? Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Share the stream out as well. So, we kicked off with a match between Jimmy Havoc and Cody. It was a decent match for what it was. I didn't really expect too much, considering that there was no crowd. I feel as though this match would have been a lot better with a crowd, considering that Jimmy Havoc and Cody, they work a better match telling a story rather than a match through in-ring work. It was decent, don't get me wrong. We had a tope by Cody on Havoc. He actually threw Havoc into the barricade, and there was no one there to stop the barricade, so Havoc actually went through the barricade. We had Jimmy Havoc taking the headset and talking to Cody while he uppercutted Cody while holding his tongue. I thought it was hilarious. We had a modified armbar before Cody got to the ropes, a reverse superplex, and 2 crossroads for the win. Decent match. Afterwards, Jake Roberts was on the screen, and he cut a promo saying that you, as in Cody, what was it? Did I write that down right? You say what Lance did in Japan, and you saw what Lance did in Japan, and you were afraid. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I can't read my own handwriting here. You saw what Lance did in Japan, and you were afraid, and he said, Caesar, just give us a chance. What you gonna do, Cody? Trust me. I love Jake Roberts. I think Jake Roberts is one of the best promos of all time. Matt Hardy showing up with no audience. Oh, God. Listen, it was great, but if they had a live audience in attendance, man, the reaction would have been unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I think that Jake Roberts and Lance Archer, I think they're a great pairing. I think it's definitely going to be almost a Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman-esque like pairing. Just a great mind for pro wrestling paired with a beast. On April 1st, actually, Lance Archer's actually making his debut. They did announce it on social media. What were your thoughts on this match, and what are your thoughts on Jake Roberts and Lance Archer debuting next week in the partnership with Jake Roberts?
I hate Cody Rhodes.
Why?
Oh my goodness, there's always something in every one of his matches that just irritates me to high heaven. And this week he reminded me a lot of Shane McMahon. So there was that spot where he got pinned by Jimmy Havoc, and he does that like slip out, kind of like what Riho does, and they even said it on commentary, like, oh my goodness, that's a Riho like escape. And I'm just there thinking, like, are you trying to be like you can do everybody's moves? Because that's what Shane McMahon did a couple of times too, where he was doing Andrade's like kick into a spinning back elbow, and it's almost like Cody just did that to be like, hey, look at me, I can do this too. It's like, you are so irritating. And then
you're looking way too much into it, dude. You're looking way too much into it.
Cody does all these things that irritate me. I'm sorry. But
I think you're just nitpicking at this rate. Cody's the best storyteller in all of pro wrestling.
I won't disagree with that. He is great at what he does. There's just like, he has always done something that's just like, well, why do you always try to give yourself the credit for everything AEW does? That's always my question. Why is it always just Cody?
You're getting ripped apart in the chat right now. You're getting ripped apart.
I figured I would be. As for the match ending, I'm starting to think maybe Cody might have a heel turn, like a long-term heel turn, kind of like what Hangman's had, but not really turning into a heel turn. I think Cody will, because that double crossroads kind of gave it away to me. It's like, of Jimmy Havoc of all people, why would he be doing that if not for he's trying to look more aggressive and possibly like get it like too much into his head, kind of like what he did with MJF. Like it just starts getting to him, and he does do an eventual heel turn.
We'll definitely see. Well, if there is a heel turn to come, I think it would probably come after the Lance Archer match, which I believe is going to happen at Double or Nothing 2. I actually hope they don't cancel Double or Nothing 2. Supposedly the Mass Gathering ban is supposed to end on the 10th. So hopefully of May, the 10th of May. So hopefully Double or Nothing still takes place. Anyway, we had Darby Allin cutting a promo where he called out Kip Sabian. This was all before the match with Kip Sabian. We had a quick back and forth to start the match. Sabian took over, coming back from commercial. Darby with a shotgun drop kick, and then a big over-the-top stunner for a 2. Suicide dive sending Sabian into the barricade. We had a springboard disaster kick and a swinging neckbreaker combination on Darby Allin for a 2. Darby Allin did a cross-legged roll-up. He calls it the Last Supper, and he got a win over Kip Sabian. Right winner here. Sabian looked good. Darby looked good. Good match. Right winner. That's all I can really say about that. Darby Allin, whenever this mid-card championship is being introduced, Darby Allin's the first champion. Right now it's a race between Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara, and I think Darby Allin has the upper hand. I gotta agree with you, Ethan. Darby Allin is the first mid-card champion. What were your thoughts on this match?
I mean, I love Darby Allin. That sounded very sarcastic. It wasn't supposed to be. I love Darby Allin. I love Kip Sabian, so obviously I was paying very close attention to this match. It was a good ending. It was a surprise ending, in fact. I like it whenever you don't always have the same kind of ending to every single match. If I were to say one good thing about Cody, I'd say the one good decision he ever made was putting Darby Allin over in that match at Fyter Fest, which he really didn't put him over, but like it was a draw. But at the same time, that did kind of put Darby over. I don't want to ramble on too much, but besides that point, like, yeah, this was a great match between two smaller guys that you would think that other people would think, in fact, would not be good at this, and they really are good at this. I do have one thing to say, though. I hope they change Kip Sabian's music because Penelope Ford kind of outdoes his.
Earl Cole, it's not that he doesn't want a mid-card championship. It's that he just doesn't want it to be called a mid-card championship. But they need a secondary title. They need a secondary singles title, and they need it now.
I do think they're getting one, but I don't think it's going to be a singles title. I think they're going to come in with a 6-man title.
I don't know. I don't think I can get behind that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I wouldn't.
Other companies.
Yeah, I know, but like, I don't really want them to be a Ring of Honor. I don't really want them to be a New Japan. I want them to be AEW. Just stick with 4 titles, 3 for the men and 1 for the women. A mid-card title or a secondary title, a world title. Hey, what's going on? Matt Moody, one of my best DJ Storms Posse members, actually. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Welcome to the live. Thank you, Leo, for welcoming people into the live. I definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I just stick with a secondary title, world title, tag team titles, and a women's world championship. That's the best possible route you could go. Jake Hager versus Chico Adams. 2 names that don't belong together. One's a pure Spanish name, and one is the whitest of all whitest last names, right next to Smith. Chico Adams, that's something. Uranagi arm trap triangle for the win, and that was it. Hager wins. Moxley actually came out, hit a paradigm shift, but Hager actually no-sold it. And Hager put him in the ankle lock. Moxley then promised that Hager will be carted out on a stretcher or he'll die trying. And I actually like that they're going with Hager and Moxley as a little interim match before Moxley's eventual title match at Double or Nothing 2, which I believe will either be against Pac or MJF. We'll see what happens. But I actually like that they're going that route. We'll see what Hager can do in a world title match. What were your thoughts on this?
I mean, I'm glad they finally got to the point with this Jake Hager stuff because I was starting to really get bored of him squashing everybody. As for the build with Moxley, I really hope it's going to be more Hagler versus Moxley than Ambrose versus Swagger.
Well, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if they go the right route, it could be really good, and I hope they do really well with Hager because it'll finally put people's minds to the fact that Hager is actually really good. And
so
Moxley's already really good. So
absolutely. We had a little promo with Brody Lee, with Alex Reynolds and John Silver, where he was eating his dinner and he kicked out John Silver for trying to eat while he was still eating, and then he kicked out Alex Reynolds for sneezing. That right there was a shot at Vince McMahon. I absolutely fucking love it. Oh, your family name is Smith. Really, Leo? I did not know that. How about that? Leo Smith. Has a nice ring to it. This led into a match between Brody Lee and QT Marshall. This was very academic for Brody Lee. A lot of offense in on QT Marshall. Big boot, tope atomico, modified suplexes, spinning side slam, and then the discus lariat for the win. The Exalted One, Brody Lee, gets the win. Definitely would love to see the Dark Order get in contention for the tag team titles, possibly take the titles off of Hangman and Omega. And Brody Lee, again, mid-card title, people. Mid-card title. What were your thoughts on this?
As for the promo, the sneezing joke did make me quite laugh. I wasn't completely behind the fact that they did a dig, but for what they were doing and who they did it with, it was all good. It did pop me, which is a good sign. As for the match, I think Brody Lee, he's getting late in his years, so he's not quite in his prime. So I'm glad they're at least taking advantage of him while they can. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of the whole setup to the Sister Abigail being thrown up in the discus clothesline, because that man can do a discus out of nowhere and it looks awesome. I actually just recently watched whenever he was facing the Usos and he did his spin into the discus and one of the Usos super kicked him, but then at the same time he went ahead and did another rotation into a clothesline.
I love that.
It's one of the best clotheslines I've ever seen him do, and he does it so well that is I hope they make it more of an out of nowhere move instead of a do this to set up into a move that doesn't even look like it.
We'll see. We had
for Brody Lee, though. I think he will be really good for the AEW roster.
Absolutely. We had Vanguard 1 checking in on Nick Jackson, and he was working out in his garage. I believe that Nick Jackson was said to be 61%, if I'm not mistaken. From there, we went into the AAA Mega Championship between Sammy Guevara and Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, of course, is the champion. We had a snap suplex on the floor by Kenny Omega. Sammy was able to gain over control with a head scissor transition into an armbar, which looked incredibly smooth. We had a back suplex into a kick by Sammy for a 2. Kenny started to gain momentum. We had a Kotaro Crusher for a 2. Sammy was selling the hell out of this Kotaro Crusher. And I do too. I do too, Ethan. I love how they brought back the AAA championship. They must have worked out a deal with AAA because there was a deal that they had that AAA would not have the title defended on Dynamite anymore after the Jack Evans match. But I'm glad they worked out a deal. We had a springboard cutter and a Fosby flop by Sammy Guevara. Omega, he was caught with a Spanish fly for a 2. V-Trigger turned Sammy inside out. Sammy was able to fight out of the one-winged angel. We had Kenny hitting a modified Feast Your Eyes, but Omega actually fought through the pain, no-sold it, and hit the Tiger Driver 98 for a 2. One-winged angel for the win. This match was great. These guys pulled out all the stops to give you an excellent championship match, and they damn sure did it. I just wish there was a crowd, because a crowd would have absolutely given 118% back to these guys. This probably would have been considered one of the best matches of the year if it was in front of a crowd. I'm telling you. Brandy announces Kenny better than she announces Cody. Oh yeah, that was a little dig there. That was a little dig there by Cody Rhodes at his wife. But what were your thoughts on this match?
Before we go on to the match, I do have one more thing I'd like to say about the Brody Lee thing that I just now remembered. So I started seeing reports Thursday that were saying that Vince McMahon was actually furious about what Brody Lee had
I love it.
in the promo. Well, so I saw those reports, but here's a question I ask to those that believe that. Do you really believe that Vince McMahon watches AEW?
He has to.
That was like the one part I was like, why is nobody addressing this out of everything that they're saying? Why is nobody addressing that you have to assume that he watched AEW to believe this?
He has to. I'm telling you, he has to. Earl Cole, it could happen in Newark. We'll see, because the Newark show is in July. Leo, I am an Aries. A purebred Aries. Yeah, Vince can suck it. Vince can suck it,
Ethan. As for the Vanguard 1 promo as well, that was very creative, and I do give them props to that, because I love it whenever they make anything as creative as possible. As for the match, I will have to be honest, I wasn't bored of the match, but I was bored during the match, so I did miss quite a bit of it. I did see whenever Sammy was kissing the drawing of Brandy, which was actually quite funny. He maximizes his minutes as much as he can. One thing I wanted to say about Sammy that I've always wanted to is I do not look at that man and expect him to be able to do a 630 senton. Every time he does that, it's amazing, and I know he didn't do it in this match, but I just wanted to let that out and just say I love it whenever he pulls it out. As for the AAA title as well, I am liking that AEW is getting a working relationship with other companies and having titles like that on the line. I'm really excited for the one day that we finally see a title other than an AEW championship change hands on an AEW show. That would be cool to see one day. And as for the match itself, like the One Winged Angel's like the best move ever. So obviously that was the finish.
Indeed. And speaking of one of the best ever, probably one of the best segments of the year took place with Chris Jericho and Matt Hardy coming face to face. Chris Jericho called out Matt, but instead Vanguard 1 came out. Jericho said that he doesn't like him. He doesn't like his political beliefs, and he thinks he's a piece of trash. But he wants Vanguard 1 in the inner circle. Says that he's going to be sipping bubbly through his gas tank and getting all the Instagram drone models. Vanguard 1 then just flew away. And Matt Hardy started appearing in the stands. He started appearing lower and lower and lower until he was right by ringside. He says that he is magic. Says that he is magic. And Jericho actually said he wanted Hardy in the inner circle. Hardy said that he is Damascus. He is practically perfect, and he is 3,000 years old. He says that Jericho is the same old rotten essence that he has always been, and Matt Hardy actually gave me a new insult that I'm going to be using throughout my life from here on out. He said that Jericho was truly a hole of the ass. Absolutely fucking great. I loved it. Jericho asked if Matt Hardy was elite or was he inner circle. Matt kept saying delete. Matt sang his obsolete song, knocked down Jericho, and then Jericho said, "Oh, you can do magic? I could do magic too." Abracadabra, Matt Hardy gets his ass kicked. And in came Sammy Guevara. Cody and Kenny came out to save Hardy, and Hardy, Cody, and Kenny stood tall. This was great. This was absolutely fantastic. Pure television gold. I don't know how I could describe it any other way. You need to go back and watch this segment. I was laughing my ass off. Matter of fact, my father and I were actually watching this match, and he actually laughed his ass off when Matt Hardy said "hole of the ass," so much so that I was actually crying on the floor. And I swear, if he makes that a t-shirt, I'm buying it. I don't give a shit. If he makes that a t-shirt, I'm buying it. What are your thoughts on this segment before we get into NXT?
Chris Jericho's the damn best.
Chris Jericho.
I mean, I could probably stop right there and just keep that sentence, but...
He cut a promo on a fucking drone.
They were as creative as they could be with it. The Vanguard thing was quite funny. Chris Jericho, like I said, he's the best, so he can do anything. He can cut a promo a freaking clipboard if you wanted to, because he can. The Matt Hardy teleporting thing, like, that was pretty cool. I always want to know how in the world they do something like that. I kind of think I know, but it'd be cool to, like, see the secrets. Didn't think the promo was the best thing they could have ever come up with, but it was funny. It was making me laugh. The things that Matt Hardy was saying. The whole the ass thing, I didn't realize it whenever he said it. So he says it, and I'm just kind of like, I pause. It's kind of like whenever you don't get a joke until like a second after it's already been said.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, ha 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 ha. So that was good. I don't remember much that happened after that. I remember Matt Hardy moving his hands around and causing all the fire to explode, which was also a good visual. Other than that, I thought this was it was a passable promo. It was a good promo.
Matt Hardy actually put out a poll asking if they should make it a t-shirt. I am definitely going to buy it, and I actually voted yes. Thank you, Earl Cole. Thank you for tuning in. You have a great evening as well. We're going to continue on with the show. Moving on to NXT. This was a good show as well. We had some good matches on the show. We did get some storyline progression, and they are setting up the next 2 weeks to be TakeOver-esque. And they are having a North American Championship match next week. They're having a ladder match, a possible NXT Championship match on April 8th, I believe. Yeah, April 8th. They're having a possible NXT Championship match on April 8th. They're having Gargano Ciampa on April 8th. So they're definitely setting up the coming weeks for NXT to be pretty must-see. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Breeze. This was good. It was good. But I don't really understand why they had Austin Theory lose. I do have a little theory, no pun intended there. I do have a little theory as to why. Mainly because of the fact that I believe they may be setting up Tyler Breeze for a possible NXT Cruiserweight Championship match once the ban between Europe and the United States is lifted, which was a good move, actually. They needed to do that considering everything that's been going on. No traveling. And I believe that Tyler Breeze could possibly be set up to be a number one contender for Jordan Devlin, or Austin Theory. They don't want to give too much momentum to Austin Theory, considering that Keith Lee's probably going to have a reign as North American Champion going into the summertime, and Austin Theory isn't really going to be that built up probably until the summertime, maybe until next year. I mean, he does have all the time in the world. He has 2 decades ahead of him. He's only 22. But this was a good match for what it was. We had some back and forth trying to gain the one-up on each other. Breeze was caught with a rolling blockbuster. We had Theory with a roll-through dropkick. Theory was caught Breeze in a torture rack bomb for a 2. Breeze with the supermodel kick for a 2. Theory with the cross-legged backbreaker on the knee for a 2. Theory then took the phone that Tyler Breeze had. He got too cocky. Breeze hit the beauty shot, and he got the win on Austin Theory. Good match. Questionable decision there, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt considering that this is NXT, and I know that Triple H always has a plan, especially for a guy like Austin Theory. What were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you say, NXT has a lot more trust in the community than Raw and SmackDown do. Can I also say Tyler Breeze is the most gorgeous man on the planet? That will let the audience here know what they need to know about me. As for the match...
Yeah, they'll look at your Twitter. They'll look at your Twitter and they'll see.
As for the match, I thought Tyler Breeze going over was an okay decision because, like, NXT did have a lot of issues in the past of, like, always making their newbies undefeated for, like, a period of time. And I think this is going to be something different. Austin Theory is still young. He's a newcomer. Like you said, Tyler Breeze, like, I think in his 30s now. So it would make sense that the new up-and-comer did, like, get cocky in this match, and he got taken advantage of because of that, and Tyler Breeze got the win. I like that they're making Tyler Breeze look smart. I think he is going to would be a great wrestler for the company one day if people in the company would see him as that. I had no problems with this.
So from there, we had Killian Dane versus Tahuti Miles. That's a name. Tahuti Miles. This was academic. Vader Bomb after a wasteland and senton combination by Dane for the win. We don't really need to go over that too much. This was pretty much a match to get Killian Dane a win. Cameron Grimes. What is it?
Do we not think that the name Tahuti Miles is a little bit of a dig at Jordan Miles?
I don't think so. I don't necessarily think so, because like we haven't heard a peep out of Jordan Miles in months. The guy's an idiot, actually, but
that's what I was thinking whenever I heard that name. It sounded like it might have been something like that, like they were trying to dig at ACH for what he did.
I mean, like, yeah, well, he's pretty much like dropped off the face of the earth right now. Anyway, Cameron Grimes versus Tony Nese. This was actually a decent match. I actually could have watched these guys go another 20 minutes. Cameron Grimes, man, I'm probably the biggest advocate for Cameron Grimes in the community. Guy's a fucking star. Guy's a star. Every single time he steps into the ring, guy puts on a classic. Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, Matt Riddle, Johnny Gargano, Kushida, the list goes on and on. You can't discredit the guy whatsoever. This was a decent match, though. We had Nese getting caught with the clothesline by Grimes. Nese caught Grimes with a big spinning heel kick, and you could literally hear the echo of the spinning heel kick. Thank you, I try. What do you try? What do you try, Leo? We had, what's going on, Tuck's Ab Tick channel. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. So we had the spin kick from Tony Nese. Nese gained momentum. We had a springboard moonsault for a 2. Superman forearm by Grimes. Super kick by Nese. Nese went for the running Nese, but Cameron Grimes caught him with another Superman forearm and the cave-in. Decent match. Cameron Grimes gets the win. Cameron Grimes continues to rise up in the rankings here at NXT. What were your thoughts on this match?
Every time I hear Cameron Grimes' theme song, I hear the Super Mario theme whenever Mario's doing that like race with the penguin down the ice slide.
Never heard of it.
Every time.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I hear that beginning every time I say that. I'm like, oh, wait, we're not watching Mario. As for Cameron Grimes versus who was the opponent again?
Tony Nese.
Wasn't really anything new. Cameron Grimes got another win. Not much more to say about it.
Then we actually had a couple of academic qualifying matches for the women. We had a match that was supposed to be. What are they doing with Shelton Benjamin? Asks Leo. I don't know, man. I mean, he's just been MIA. They just haven't been using him, and he's very underrated. But we had a match that was supposed to be Xia Li versus Aaliyah. Xia Li was not medically cleared to compete. She was actually attacked. She did not come out. Io Shirai is back, the genius of the sky. She's actually one of my picks to win the ladder match in 2 weeks on NXT. Backbreaker and a moonsault combination. Io Shirai wins. Who's your pick to win the ladder match, actually?
Who else in it again?
So far, we have 5 individuals. We have Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Tegan Knox, Mia Yim, and Chelsea Green.
I would love if they went with Candice LeRae just because she's a sweetheart.
All right, I'm going to go with, he had a fantastic match against Cedric Alexander on main event a few weeks back. Who? Tony Nese?
Tony Nese, maybe?
Well, Tony Nese did have a match of the year candidate with Cedric Alexander on March 19th of 2019, leading up to WrestleMania 35. That was actually great. What?
I did have one thing to say about this match between Io and, well, it's not even about the match, it's about the Xia Li thing. I absolutely hated this because when do you ever see a male wrestler cry about getting hurt? That is a genuine question, DJ. Like, when do you ever see a male wrestler cry?
I mean, is it really that big of a deal, though?
It is to me, just because.
Oh, Shelton. Okay. I'm sorry. Ethan was in the chat saying that Shelton had a good match with Cedric a few weeks back. I actually have to watch that. I've seen a few matches from main event. I'll definitely take a look at that. Thank you for reminding me. I have all the time in the world, but continue what you were saying.
But my point is, like, I hate it whenever WWE and really any wrestling promotion makes women do something that you would never see a male wrestler do. Like, so crying on your knees, like with Xia Li, was one of those things. The only other time I think it's really worked was whenever Tegan Knox was having that reaction, but that was because she had suffered a genuine injury, and that was her natural reaction to busting her knee after just coming back from busting her other knee. But any other time that the women do anything that it's just like, it's a man's imagination of what women would do, I hate it. But for the match, Io Shirai was a great replacement, and she is a good choice to be in this ladder match, and I think she'll do really well. Here's hoping a moonsault off the top of the ladder does not kill her.
I mean, she did a moonsault off the cage, and she survived. I'm going with Io Shirai. I'm going with Io Shirai, so, you know, like, we got some clashing picks there.
That is not a bad choice. I will give that to you.
We had a Dexter Lumis promo, which I'm actually looking forward to. I think Dexter Lumis is going to be damn good in NXT. We had a promo with Keith Lee. He got interviewed, and he said that he did not know that Priest was the one that attacked him. Priest was the one with the nightstick. Meanwhile, Dijakovic was seen, and Lee thought that he was mocking him, holding his championship. Lee said he owed Dijakovic an apology. Dijakovic came out and said he doesn't care about his apology. All he cares about is the North American Championship. Damian Priest came out, pretty much said that he has his eyes on that prize being the North American Championship because it means more money, more fame, and more women. I have to agree with Mr. Priest. Mr. Priest. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to start living my lifestyle like Mr. Priest once the summertime hits. I mean, like, come on. I mean, come on, ladies. You know, you can't keep your hands off of the Stormsmeister. Just throwing that out there. We then had a big brawl. What? What?
I said move on. Don't be narcissistic.
Have we met before? Have we met before, Mr. Blue Riott?
Continue.
The biggest prick in the community. Anyway. We had a big brawl. Dijakovic ended up standing tall. And then next week, we got a triple threat match between Dijakovic, Lee, and Priest for the North American Championship, which I am very much looking forward to. I can't wait. Damian Priest, he's really grown on me. He really has that look that you could really take a look at a guy like Damian Priest and you could say that you would genuinely invest your money in him. And I think that if they wanted to, I think Damian Priest could very well be a Vince McMahon guy, considering he does have the height for it, he does have the look for it. He's a big guy, he's athletic as fuck. The guy can soar over the top rope like a fucking cruiserweight. How tall is he? Like 6'5", 240 pounds? I think that not Keith Lee. I think that Damian Priest could actually be fairly successful once he gets called up to the main roster. Now that's just my take, but then again, 98% of all NXT call-ups have been fucked up on the main roster, which I will not get into. But that triple threat match is taking place next week. Adam Cole, he cut a promo reacting to him becoming the longest reigning NXT champion of all time, baby. Adam Cole says that the UE wants some of the experience. And he said that the dream will be all but a dream. It will be dream over for the dream. And that is undisputed. So next week, Velveteen Dream will face Bobby Fish. We got Bobby Fish and Velveteen Dream next week and a triple threat match for the North American Championship. I can dig that sucker. Anyway, we had a tag team match between Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink, which is your new favorite tag team apparently. Brandon Vink with a Uranagi to Oney Lorcan for a 2 count. A Big E-esque Oney Lorcan. A Big E-esque Oney Lorcan. Big E-esque Uranagi, excuse me. Burch with the hot tag. We had a double submission and a double tap out. What were your thoughts on this match? And where can you see Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch going once we get into the spring months of 2020?
That depends. Can Lorcan and Burch go anywhere? because 2 years ago was whenever they had that awesome match with Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, and doesn't really feel like they've gone much elsewhere other than losing to named tag teams and winning against no-name tag teams.
I think that they could very well get a tag team title match against the Broserweights once Pete Dunne comes back to the States.
Which I do not doubt would be really, really good. It's just I haven't been given any precedent to believe that I need to care about them too yet. As for, like you said, with Shane Thorne and Brandon Vink, I love Shane Thorne, so I'm going to love anything he does. Thank God he decided the long hair was a bad idea.
God, favoritism right here.
Hey,
Favoritism.
he is my WWE champion in 2K20.
Favoritism. My phone, because we don't want this to go. We don't want that to run out of juice. My phone could very well run out of juice. I hope it doesn't. But anyway. So we had Candice LeRae. Hold on, Oscar Rodriguez. Oh, yo, hey, Oscar Rodriguez from WrestleMania. How you doing, man? It's been a while. How's everything been? We had Candice LeRae versus Kaden Carter. This was pretty much another academic match. Candice LeRae got the win here, locking in the Gargano escape, and Candice LeRae moves on to face off against none other than Io Shirai, Chelsea Green, Mia Yim, and Tegan Nox. That is going to be in the ladder match in 2 weeks to determine a number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship. Also in 2 weeks, or not in 2 weeks, next week actually. Next week, we actually have a second chance gauntlet match for the women. It's going to be Dakota Kai, Aaliyah, Xia Li, Kaden Carter, Tiana Purrazzo, and Shotzi Blackheart. And I'm going with Dakota Kai to get the win there. So what were your thoughts on Candice LeRae qualifying for?
Great wrestler in NXT. She's just a good choice. She's a great choice. She's been in 2 Royal Rumble matches so far. She's outperformed in every one of them. She's outperformed a lot in NXT in the last few months. Ever since actually they went on to USA Network, her win on the first episode on USA and the subsequent title match against Shayna Baszler they were awesome. Candice LeRae was the best woman in that division.
So from there, we had a team match here between Matt Riddle and Roderick Strong. Hard-hitting forearms right out of the gate from both men to start off the match. Riddle was able to gain some momentum coming back from commercial. Bro sleep German suplex combination for 2. Roderick Strong was actually running the ropes with the forearm strikes we saw him do against Riddle at TakeOver 25. Riddle caught him then with the Bro Derek for the win. And then these 2 big Samoan dudes came out to attack Matt Riddle. They were led to the ring by Malcolm Bevins, and he introduced himself, says that he would like to introduce Riddle to the future of the NXT Tag Team division. We did not get a name for these 2 dudes, but they do have a very intimidating look, and I think that the NXT Tag Team division really needs a renaissance, considering that there's only 4 teams in the division right now. Singh brothers have been juicing it up, I see. Well, chill there, Ethan. Chill. If you guys haven't already done so, be sure to hit that thumbs up. We're going to try and get this. Johnny! Big boy Johnny's in the chat. How you doing, brother? Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Anyway, what were your thoughts on this match, and what can we expect from this new tag team?
I don't remember a lot of this match except for the finish, which was really, really good. Matt Riddle catching Roderick Strong on the run to the Bro Derek. That was pretty cool. As for the run-in, I am taking inspiration from Patrick Starr saying, "Who are all you people?" One other thing I wanted to say is I like whenever a tag team champion has to go on his own, because it makes it feel like they can live and compete without needing the other partner. And that's what I don't like about tag teams in WWE as of late, is that they feel like one cannot be without the other. And with Matt Riddle here, it was like you could see him, because both single stars, granted, but you could see him being able to compete without needing Pete Dunne to be there to be like, hey, I am in this team with you. Like, we didn't need that, and we didn't need the Undisputed Era either for Roderick Strong to compete. So I was really happy about that.
So, what about this new team? Do you think it could be the next tag team champions by the summer?
No.
No. We'll see if they can change.
I think they'll be built really well, but I am not convinced yet.
We'll see if Colton's mind will be changed. Anyway, we had a back and forth promo with Ciampa and Gargano where Triple H was pretty much the unofficial moderator. Triple H was in the ring before he was interrupted by Ciampa. Ciampa wanted to just finish this. He wanted to be done with this incident with him and Gargano. Triple H said that there would be no physicality tonight. Gargano came out, said that this was all Ciampa's fault. Triple H said Regal would have fired both of them if he hadn't have stepped in. Gargano promised to make Ciampa see that Johnny is the better everything. Triple H said that he's going to give them both a little message, a little note to a private location where they will go there with a referee and finish this once and for all in 2 weeks on NXT. It ends. And then out of nowhere, we had the TikTok video package that they've been playing. And out of nowhere, we saw Killer Kross himself. Killer Kross himself. He came up on the screen. I don't know what this means, but I am very much interested in seeing where this could possibly go. Do we see Killer Kross go in on the Gargano and Ciampa quote-unquote match in this supposed warehouse in 2 weeks? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Will Killer Kross be a star? In NXT, yes. On the main roster, no. And to be quite honest, I don't agree with him signing with the WWE. Matter of fact, the only reason why he did sign with WWE is because his girlfriend, Scarlett Bordeaux, is with the WWE. And if you don't think so, you're an idiot. Just pointing that out there. What were your thoughts on this before we get to NXT UK?
Dad's kids are asking to not get a spanking.
Really?
That's basically how this looks.
Really?
No, in seriousness, like, it's a pretty good angle. I'm glad they're finally gonna find a way to get it finished. Don't look at me like that.
Too late.
One thing I did think during this promo is Johnny Gargano's pants do not do him any favors at all.
I don't know what that means.
Tiny. His legs look absolutely tiny in those pants. And that man's got good-looking legs. I will not lie about that.
Are these legitimately your first thoughts when watching a wrestling program?
No, but that's what I was thinking whenever I was watching this. I don't really remember a whole lot of what they talked about other than Triple H saying, "You will fight this one more time," and that's it. Which is where I got the whole thing of it's just dad telling his kids to behave. Stop it.
I'm just reading the chat, man. Just reading the chat. Just reading the chat, man. Yeah.
Anyways, and then as for Killer Kross, I'm intrigued to find out how he's going to have anything to do with this.
Anyway, I thought it was a great episode of NXT. Definitely washed the bad taste of Monday Night Snore out of my mouth. I'm not looking forward to talking about SmackDown after NXT UK, but let's talk about NXT UK, shall we? This was actually a damn good episode. They actually have all of their episodes for NXT UK pre-recorded before TakeOver Dublin, and it really does suck that this pandemic had to happen during this time in NXT UK because NXT UK has been on fucking fire all year. It's easy to pick out NXT. It's easy to pick out a Dynamite. It's easy to pick out a brand like that or NWA Power. It's been doing great in 2020. But if you haven't been watching NXT UK, man, you're fucking missing out. Who should win the WWE Championship match? Big Boy Johnny or DJ Storms? DJ Storms, Leo. Come on. DJ Storms. Anyway, so Imperium kicked off the show with Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. This was a tag team match. I actually very much enjoyed this tag team match. This was a damn good tag team match. Imperium's fantastic. I'm actually surprised that they haven't had Imperium versus Gallus for the NXT tag team titles 2-on-2 between now and TakeOver Blackpool 2, because TakeOver Blackpool was the last time the tag titles were defended. I don't necessarily like how they haven't been defending the tag team titles so frequently, but that's a different story for a different time. This was a damn good tag team match. We had a silly string splash on Fabian Eichner. Imperium with the Tree of Woe, double drop kick in the corner. We had Smith getting the hot tag, Michinoku driver for a 2. We had an aided back body drop into a 450 for a 2. I actually love the double team moves between Oliver Carter and Ashton Smith. Carter with the roll up on Eichner for a 2. Imperium ended up hitting the European Bomb for the win. I can definitely see Imperium winning the tag team titles at some point this year. What were your thoughts on this tag team match?
I love Marcel Barthel. I know nobody else in this match because I have not watched NXT UK since Lord knows when. I watched it this week because I was going to do this week. And so I didn't really have much thoughts on it since it was my first time watching it.
Do you think it was a good tag team match at least?
It was a good tag team match, and I think it's a good way. It was a good way to build Imperium, and hopefully, with what happened later with Gallus, it will be a lead into a tag team title match that will happen whenever the next takeover is.
Absolutely. So then we had a match between Nina Samuels and Eva Valkyrie. I very much enjoyed this match between Eva Valkyrie and Nina Samuels. It was decent, nothing too crazy. This was mainly to get Eva Valkyrie a win. Eva Valkyrie really shined the most in this match against Nina Samuels. Very technical back and forth to start off this match. Yes, you need to get back with NXT UK, Ethan. It's been doing great this year. They have been on fire since the first takeover Blackpool back in January. We had a wrecking ball drop kick by Eva Valkyrie to the outside. Samuels with a corkscrew plancha for a 2. We had a spinning heel kick, which looked brutal on Nina Samuels. And then we had the diving axe kick for the win. Decent match here. Eva Valkyrie gets the win. Eva Valkyrie, I can see in the conversation for a possible NXT Women's Championship match by the end of the year, especially with TakeOver Dublin being moved, which I'm going to talk about after the weekly show reviews. I can definitely see her winning the title in her hometown of Dublin, Ireland. What were your thoughts on this match?
I had none because I don't know either of these women.
I said,
this is my first time watching in quite a while, so a lot of the matches I saw on this were just like, if I knew somebody in the match, I was like, okay, I can have some thoughts, but I knew neither of these women. It was a decent match. I barely remember it, though.
Can you see Eva Valkyrie in the conversation for the title by the end of the year?
Yeah, sure.
So then we have Piper announcing that her and Danny Luna will be taking on Kaylee Ray and Ginny. That's going to be next week. Flash Morgan Webster was interviewed, and he promised to find out who attacked Mark Andrews. So if they can make that into a storyline, I would actually enjoy that. We'll see how that plays out. We had A-Kid versus Noam Dar, Supernova 11. They traded pinfalls back and forth before Noam Dar took over control. A couple of punt kicks to the arm of A-Kid. Dar ended up hitting low blow and the Nova roller for a win. I don't necessarily know why they had Noam Dar go over here. He did have a run with Jordan Devlin in an exclusive interview after the show, so we could possibly be getting a Cruiserweight title match between those two, which I wouldn't mind. Next week is the Battle Royal to determine the number one contender for Walter. Dar took the microphone and he said, Battle Royal next week? I can't do his accent. I'm going to try. Battle Royal next week? More like 11 Dafties and 1 Supernova 11. So, I actually love when Noam Dar cuts promo. He's actually funny as fuck. Just pointing that out there. That's going to be next week. I actually can't wait to see how they book that Battle Royal next week. It really could have gone a lot longer, the match. I do want to see A-Kid in possible contention for a Cruiserweight Championship match. A-Kid is very, very, very underrated. What were your thoughts on this match, and who do you think is going to win the Battle Royal next week?
Well, firstly, he said 19 Dafties, not 11.
I thought I said 19 Dafties. I said 19 Dafties. I said Super 11.
Secondly, I did think this was a good match. It was nice to finally see Noam Dar on a show again. Sorry for my dogs.
No, it's alright. Don't worry.
It was nice seeing them again. I love Noam Dar. I think he's great. I thought the finish was quite good. I don't even know if they showed a replay of what happened, and I didn't really want to go back and watch it over again. Good finish, though. I love that Noam Dar won, and I loved his promo afterwards.
I'm going with Ilya Dragunov. Then we had the main event, which was Jordan Devlin versus Travis Banks for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. This was great. This was a great match from start to finish. I love the chemistry between Noam Dar and Travis Banks. This was probably their second best match together. I'm sorry, the Falls Count Anywhere match from last year, it still holds number one. Did you just, Colton?
Yes.
Did you just comment in the chat?
Maybe.
Jordan Devlin and Travis Banks for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. This is a great match. We had Banks going for a suicide dive right out of the gate, and he hit his shoulder on the barricade. Jordan Devlin actually sidestepped it, sent Travis Banks into the barricade, which looked brutal. I'm surprised that he did not separate his shoulder there. We had Banks getting caught with a Spanish fly for a 2 by Devlin. Banks absorbed a lot of kicks from Devlin before Devlin was on the receiving end of a hesitation cannonball and a German suplex for a 2 count by Banks. We had a suicide dive taking out Jordan Devlin, diving, standing double stomp by Travis Banks, but Devlin kicked out. Spinning heel kick, headbutt, and a headbutt. Both men are down. The crowd's chanting, "This is awesome." Tree of Woe double stomp by Travis Banks. Slingshot cutter on Banks for a 2 count by Devlin. Devlin was able to reverse the Kiwi Crusher after getting hit with Slice of Heaven. He rolled Travis Banks up and pulled the ropes behind the referee's back for the win. This was a great match. Jordan Devlin continues to build his resume as the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. I am loving what Jordan Devlin has been doing. 2 successful title defenses. Jordan Devlin, more likely than not, is going to be probably the MVP of 2020 if he keeps this up. What were your thoughts on this match before we move into SmackDown?
This was a really good match. I remember really getting into it, especially with the headbutt spot. These are 2 of my favorite wrestlers in the UK today, so I was really into it. I wasn't completely into the finish, just because in my mind, I mean, if I'm going to be nitpicky, which I always am, in my mind,
You think?
It looks like had Jordan Devlin not grabbed the rope, it wouldn't have really changed anything, because he grabbed it like half a second before he won. So that kind of took me off guard a bit, but other than that, I really like Jordan Devlin. I like Travis Banks. Thought it was a little bit much for Travis Banks to hit the Slice of Heaven and then Jordan Devlin not go down. But for what the finish was, I get why it worked.
So where do you think Jordan Devlin goes from here? Who does he defend against next?
I mean, if Noam Dar doesn't win the Battle Royal, I'd say Noam Dar would be a good opponent. Or if maybe he goes to NXT and defends the title, Tyler Breeze will be a good shout as well. I don't know. I think they just had a match recently, but I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Absolutely. SmackDown Live. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I barely fucking paid attention to anything on SmackDown Live. We're just really going to skim through this, and we're going to skim through 205 Live until we, and then we're going to get into news, rumors, and reports, and then we'll get out of here. We've been going for like over an hour and a half. So you could imagine that. I can imagine a lot of people right here. Props to those who've been staying in the chat. I appreciate you greatly. I really appreciate you greatly. Yeah, same, Ethan. I was on my phone most of the show. So Bayley and Sasha Banks came out. They were blabbering on and on about WrestleMania. Thank you, big boy Johnny. Lacey Evans came out. I really wasn't even paying attention. Naomi came out, interrupted Lacey, said she's going to snatch Sasha bald. Excuse me.
Bless you.
Thank you. Tamina came out, said actions speak louder than words. Tamina headbutted Naomi and attacked Lacey, and then Sasha and Bayley retreated. Stereotypical build-up towards a multi-person match at WrestleMania. I don't even know why the fuck they're doing this match, especially considering that Sasha Banks, she is completely fine. I don't care what anyone says. This injury is not as serious as people are making it out to be. People are saying that this is because of Sasha Banks' injury. Meanwhile, she was completely fine in the previous tag team match that she was working with. Yeah, right, Ethan. Yeah, you're right. Tamina's used to coming out with no crowd reaction. Ridiculous. Do you even want to talk about this, or do you want to just...
I mean, like I told you the other day, I knew a better way to build a multi-woman title match than this. Why Tamina's in it, I do not understand, because Tamina does nothing. I once was actually a supporter of Tamina for a while, for like the first 4 years that she was there, because she was actually really good in the beginning. But then she just got to where she was always accident prone and always gone for like a year plus. And so it's like, why should anybody care what Tamina does at this point if she's always either gone off on injury or somebody is lacking?
Her theme song's fucking terrible.
I mean, it's better than the original theme song, but it is still bad.
Drew Gulak and Shinsuke Nakamura. This match went 5 minutes. A match that could have actually been fairly decent, and they didn't even break out of the first gear. We had Nakamura with a diving knee off the middle rope. Bryan actually pulled Gulak away from the Kinshasa. Gulak rolled up Nakamura for the win, and we get Bryan and Zayn at WrestleMania. I mean, come on. I love Bryan. I love Sammy. I think the match at WrestleMania could very well be one of the better ones on the show. But could you honestly have done any worse than what you just did right here? 5 minutes of Gulak and Nakamura, a match that could have actually been fairly decent. Why not show Triple H and Roman Reigns from fucking WrestleMania 32? It's one of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time. Roman Reigns will go down as the guy to have not one, not two, but 3 of the worst WrestleMania main events of all time at 32, 33, and 34. Just point that out there.
I was present for one of them.
I was present for none, thank God. Do you even want to comment on Gulak and Nakamura, or do you want to just move on to the next segment?
I mean, nah, I really don't have any more comments. I did like the finish. That's all I really had to say on it.
Unbelievable. Big time failure, Ethan. Big time failure. In more ways than one. Anyway, Dolph Ziggler was in the back. Otis came in, and Dolph challenged Otis to a match at WrestleMania. Terrible decision, considering the crowd would have been the biggest payoff for this match, and their reactions towards Otis would have really made this match. Elias, he sang his song for Corbin. I only remember one line from this song. Corbin, your throne is a toilet, and you are a turd. That was the only line I remember from the song before Corbin came in. Elias was actually on the platform. Corbin came in and threw Elias off the platform, and that was pretty much it. If this means that no Elias and Corbin at WrestleMania, then I'm all for it. What were your thoughts on this?
I liked that they at least took advantage of the fact they were pre-recording the show. So that, like, kind of Mufasa-looking spot from Lion King, it looked good.
Mufasa.
What they were doing in
Mufasa spot from Lion King.
As for the match itself and what they're doing, put me to sleep, please.
Speaking of sleep, I actually almost fell asleep on my phone during the next match. Asuka and Alexa Bliss. DDT, Alexa Bliss wins. This fucking character that Nikki Cross is playing is nauseating as fuck. You just got roasted by Ethan in the chat if you didn't just see. He's roasting you for comparing that to the Lion King. I don't like the Lion King, but, you know, I gotta agree with him there. DDT Alexa Bliss wins. This current character that Nikki Cross is playing, I swear to God, it makes me want to pull out my chin strap hair. And I love my fucking chin strap hair, but man, I legit want to pull it out by the roots. I swear to God. She's pretty much a mini-me of Alexa Bliss with a Scottish accent. How do you go from having a last woman standing match with Asuka on NXT, and then you have a partnership with Alexa Bliss on main roster television that has killed everything that you once were in NXT? And Asuka, where is Asuka? Where's the real Asuka? Where's the Asuka that went 900 plus days undefeated? Seems as though she's long gone. I got none. I really have. I would just end the video right there if we don't have all the news, rumors, and reports.
I will say, while this match wasn't very good,
it was terrible.
I didn't completely hate it, just because it wasn't what I was thinking it was going to be, which was just a roll-up victory. It actually was a not so bad of a finish, despite the fact it wasn't very good of a match.
I'm about to end this Skype call with you right now, man. You've been pissing me off this entire stream. You are pissing me off. Anyway, moving on. Triple H and Roman Reigns from WrestleMania. Great. Where were you? Where was I? I was taking a shit. That's what I was doing. I was taking a shit.
I was worried it was going to go too long and I wasn't going to be able to see the finish before I went to work.
Dude, they cut out about 11 minutes of that match. That match went 30 minutes. That match went 30 minutes at WrestleMania. They cut about 11 out. Just for the sake of it. We had a new Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt started mixing up ingredients for a smoothie. We had self-loathing. We had rage and resentment. We had Rambling Rabbit. And he took the place of irrelevant opinions, which is 90% of the people in this community. Just pointing that out there. 90% of the people in this community are fucking morons. Just pointing that out there. And he drank the smoothie. He drank the Rambling Rabbit smoothie. He did make it essential. He did make it essentially. He challenged Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match, which actually correlates with a report from Brad Shepard. And according to Brad Shepard, WWE has actually been planning a very unique direction for Cena and Wyatt, as Brad Shepard did state. He did state, according to a source in WWE, the John Cena-Bray Wyatt match is getting the full-blown movie treatment, as I alluded to last week. He was talking about this week, actually. I'm told it will have a very unique look and feel. They're doing the match in a warehouse, and John Cena is creatively involved. I'm actually very much looking forward towards this match. I think it could actually have a very unique feel, and if they do a lot of cinematic feels for the main matches, like Cena and Wyatt, and Undertaker and Styles, I think could actually enhance WrestleMania. So I'm trying to be a little bit optimistic, which is highly unlike me, because normally I rip WWE a new asshole. But I'm trying to be a little bit more optimistic. What were your thoughts on this new Firefly Funhouse?
I mean, what else can we expect right now, considering the coincidence that they're in? Like, they kind of had to go somewhere different with this, because the Fiend can't just normally wrestle in an empty arena. Just as long as the Fiend wins, I really don't care how this match goes.
Watch Cena win. Just watch. I don't want to be negative, but just watch Cena win.
Do we expect any less from that company?
Nope. We have Roman versus Goldberg being advertised still, even after what happened. They have a face-to-face confrontation next week. And then John Cena is responding to Bray Wyatt next week. Awesome. New Day versus the Usos. This is actually shaping up to be fairly decent. I'm not going to lie. I mean, New Day and the Usos usually have fairly good matches. Big E got the hot tag. Couple of belly-to-belly suplexes on the Usos. Big splash on the apron. Kofi came in off the hot tag coming back from commercial. We had a half crab being reversed. Uso with a super kick on Big E for a 2 count. Miz and Morrison were chanting, this is also they were doing there. Miz and Morrison, hey, hey, ho, ho, I'm gonna cut my ears off. Hey, hey, ho, ho, pass me the bleach. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Anyway, that was my thought during that. Kofi with the trust fall dive. Miz and Morrison got involved. They got taken out. We had a suicide spear by Big E. Double DQ as Miz and Morrison got involved. And then Michael Cole announced they will be facing both teams in a triple threat ladder match. Could you be any more lazy? You really couldn't have given us just a regular 2-on-2 match. And on top of that, this match may not even happen, as the Usos and The Miz could very well could not even be involved at WrestleMania. They actually pre-recorded WrestleMania already, as Orlando's currently on lockdown. 9 superstars are out of WrestleMania, which I will go over. What are your thoughts on this before we get to 205 Live, and then we'll just talk about the news, rumors, and reports, and finally get the fuck out of here, because I know a lot of people are probably raging behind their phone screens. Just end it already.
Yeah, they're probably already raging at me because of the things I've been saying.
I've been raging, dude. But then again, I hate everything.
It was quite obvious that they were going to go to the triple threat. I didn't think they were going to do a ladder match, but if anybody could get that over, it was going to be the New Day and the Usos. I honestly keep forgetting that John Morrison and Miz have won the tag team titles. One thing I did like in this match, I don't know how many people noticed, but they've actually started coloring in on the New Day's gear. So, like, you know how it's all white and then there's like a color code on the back of it? They've actually started doing like little crown color-ins on their gear.
I actually did not notice that. Huh.
I didn't notice that at first, and started like actually paying attention and just seeing that there was different colors there, and I was like, oh hey, they're like, I think it was supposed to like lead to something, which probably isn't going to be led to anymore, but it did start looking kind of cool. It is very creative. It is creative gear, that is.
Dude, Ethan is really ripping you apart for Cody, man. He's really ripping you apart for Cody. Yeah, you and Ethan are like night and day, I swear.
Cody is so detestable.
No, he's not. You think he's Triple H, dude. You think he's Triple H, but he's the furthest thing from... He's actually putting people over, unlike Triple H. We're going to have Ethan on the show. We're going to, you know what we're going to do? On the 17th annual special edition Storm Stream this summer, we are going to have Ethan and Colton on the show simultaneously, and we are going to have a debate. I don't give a shit. We are going to have this debate, and it's going to be bigger than the main event of WrestleMania. No matter what that may be, on night 1 or night 2. Colton and Ethan Craddock on DJ Storm's channel. I don't care. That's what's going down. I'm yelling timber. So Colton, you better move, or you better dance. It's going to be a night. It's going to be a night you won't remember, and DJ Storms is the one that you won't forget. Just wanted to throw that in.
You expect any of us to be alive by then?
Yes. I'm made of stone. I can handle anything. Anyway, 205 Live, before we get into the news, rumors, and reports. And yes, I did just quote Timber there. Protestia and... Who else sings it? Pitbull. Who the fuck cares about Pitbull? I mean, Pitbull's been MIA for God knows how long. Pitbull's kind of a shitty artist, to be quite honest with you. I only like one of his songs, and that was the WrestleMania 33 theme song. Mostly because I couldn't get it out of my head. 205 Live. We got off on a little tangent there. I'm actually not gonna lie, this is actually a fairly good show. We had 2 damn good matches on the show. Isaiah Swerve Scott and Joaquin Wilde. I actually want to see more of Joaquin Wilde. I'm actually a big advocate. Yeah, damn right, Ethan. Damn right. I've been a big advocate for Joaquin Wilde. I actually want to see more of Joaquin Wilde and what he can do. Swerve, we had a vicious PK from Swerve outside on the apron to Joaquin Wilde. We had a huge hurricane run off the top rope by Wilde. We had a punching and uppercut trading session from both men. German suplex on Wilde. Wilde rolled through into a reverse Rana on Swerve, and then Swerve rolled through the pain and hit the house call for a 2 count. Swerve ended up hitting a pop-up Meishinuku driver on Joaquin Wilde for the 1, 2, 3. Damn good match right here. Isaiah Swerve Scott gets the win. If they want to, I think Isaiah Swerve Scott is definitely going to be Jordan Devlin's next challenger once the travel ban actually is lifted from the US and the UK stars are allowed to come back. What were your thoughts on this match?
The thoughts on the match I don't have much of, but I do have a thought on the 2 men in the match that's actually going to be really weird to talk about. I'm going to reference a show I used to watch whenever I was a child. So whenever Joaquin Wilde and Isaiah Swerve Scott came into NXT, they came in with that NXT Breakout Tournament last year. And I have described him as when Thomas and friends brought in like 10 new trains and they were like automatically supposed to all be liked. And that's exactly how I described the guys that were in this tournament. Yeah, I just referenced Thomas and friends of all things. Bite me.
I actually am not going to say anything because I actually had a Thomas and Friends train set when I was a kid, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt there. You're kind of like
that's what these guys made me think of. Was like they were just like the new trains. That it's like, okay, now you met them, you gotta like all of them now. It's like I don't know any of them. I didn't even watch NXT that much whenever the breakout tournament was happening, just because like I know none of these people.
Ethan, I'm actually going to tell you something. I actually wanted to be a conductor when I was like 6 years old. That was when I was just a young little DJ Storms, a young little lightning bolt, if you will. I got a lot of one-liners. I got a lot. Anyway, so after that, we had Tony Nese versus Oney Lorcan. This was a decent main event. Nothing too crazy here. Lorcan was on the receiving end of a lot of offense from Nese in the beginning. We had a big running blockbuster for a 2. Springboard moonsault for a 2. Tony Nese ended up taking over control with the German suplex and the running Nese. I can see Tony Nese versus Isaiah Swerve Scott in a number 1 contenders match with Isaiah Swerve Scott going over and possibly being the next challenger for Jordan Devlin. How about you? And then we'll get into the news, rumors, and reports.
I mean, this is the match that I was like telling you about with Tony Lorcan. It's like as soon as he wins something, he loses something. So it's like I can't really get behind the guy. But this was a good match. Tony Nese is a good finish. He's got a really good knees for that finish. And I'm not actually saying that as an innuendo. First time watching 205 Live in at least a year, so not much thoughts on anybody on the show. But good match. Both matches were solid.
Like I've been watching all these shows religiously for like years now, and I take like here we go. Take a guess. How many pages of notes did I take for the LFU this week? Yes.
Well, you gave me 3, and that wasn't including all the notes from the show, so I'm gonna say about 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
It wasn't so far off.
Well, 12 and a half, really. Anyway, let's get into the news, rumors, and reports, and then we can get out of here. So, TakeOver Dublin, yes, has been postponed, ladies and gentlemen. NXT TakeOver Dublin has been postponed. The 3 Arena tweeted the other day, and I quote, NXT TakeOver scheduled to take place at 3 Arena on Sunday, 26 April, has been postponed and will now take place on Sunday, 25 October. All tickets remain valid for the new date. So, can I just ask you something here? You postponed TakeOver Dublin, and Sportskeeda, Tom Colohue of Sportskeeda, actually reported today that supposedly, Money in the Bank is being postponed, but you can't fucking postpone WrestleMania. You can't. Seriously. Can anyone give me a valid reason as to why WrestleMania is still taking place? Vince McMahon was even reported as the only one that wanted WrestleMania to continue. But yet here we are, and all of these superstars wanted the show postponed. You have all these sports leagues, the NBA, the MLB, NCAA, NHL, all closing off season, closing up shop, canceling games, postponing their games, but yet WWE can't do that. And I don't want to hear all of this, oh, you're so ungrateful. DJ Storms is so ungrateful. I don't mind them putting forth the effort to give us a show. I appreciate them going forth with it, but at the end of the day, with postponing it, it would have benefited the most parties. Why is it that you're only thinking about WWE? I'm thinking about the fans that spent $10,000 on all these hotel reservations, and I actually had one on the LFU last week. Miss CM Smiley, shout out to her. She was on the LFU last week. which is actually, how many views does that have? I think it has about like 140 views right now, so she did very well. All these hotel reservations, all these plans, all this money spent by the fans, and now they don't even get to go. All the independent wrestlers around the area who are missing out on the biggest paydays of their career. And on top of that, what about the moments for people like Shayna, or people like McIntyre, people like Owens? What about their WrestleMania moments? They're going to be in front of no one? Come on. And on top of that, why is it that all these wrestlers have to go forth and put on a show when they should be spending time with their families during this stressful time? You're pretty much adding more stress onto these superstars. Vince McMahon wants to be the only person in town saying, hey, look at me, I am above COVID-19. It's ridiculous. Should have just postponed it. And I don't want to hear any of these bullshit excuses about, oh, they're monetized differently, or this, or that. They're the wealthiest wrestling company on the planet. Exactly, yeah, Rhea's first WrestleMania. It's going to be in front of no one. Postponing it would have benefited the most parties. WWE is the wealthiest wrestling company on the planet, and there is nothing that you can tell me. Yes, they would have lost money, but all these major sports leagues are losing money. They're not going out of business. WWE ain't going out of business either. Do you want to comment on TakeOver Dublin being postponed after I just, ranted on that shit, or...
I mean, no, not really. It is kind of sad that they didn't postpone WrestleMania after all this, after all that they've lost because of the show now. It was, even before they said it was going to stick with get my words right. Before they said it was going to stick with the Performance Center and go 2 nights, I wouldn't have minded if they would have postponed it for MSG for whenever this was all over. Because at least then, one, you can't really go wrong with wrestling in MSG. Even if it is WrestleMania, it's not like MSG's too small for it. And it could have been still billed as Rhea's big match to put the NXT title on WrestleMania for the first time. But now, that doesn't really feel like it's any big now because it's not going to be in a big arena anymore.
They could have easily postponed it till the end of June, where you had the event that was supposed to take place on March 22nd. It's now taking place on June 27th. You could have had June 27th and June 28th. And no, people, no. Don't give me the excuse that we don't know how long this is going to last. This is not lasting past the summer. The government will not allow it.
It's not like they couldn't have just canceled all the shows until WrestleMania either if they would have done, because I'm pretty sure that's exactly what they're going to do after WrestleMania. They're going to cancel shows until they can get started back up. No. Supposedly, they're going back to tapings on April 10th. They're taping Raw and SmackDown and NXT from April 10th, and then they're taping the next 4 weeks, I believe. Probably leading up to Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank could probably be at the PC. Yeah. I actually have some news on Samoa Joe, who could be back for WrestleMania. Fightful Select reported that even though WrestleMania is taking place a week sooner, Samoa Joe is eligible to work the show. The report stated, and I quote, Samoa Joe is eligible to work this year's WrestleMania shows, even though the dates were moved up. He had been suspended for a month. So I actually have no problem with that, and I'm actually going to wait till the end report because I actually want to talk about a possible scenario where Samoa Joe could fit in at WrestleMania. So what were your thoughts? What are your thoughts on Samoa Joe being allowed to compete? I forgot he was gone. Honestly, it's not just the... I like Samoa Joe, but I just he wasn't anywhere in the bill for any match, so it was I just kind of forgot that he was suspended. And now that he's not suspended and can work WrestleMania, I'm just thinking, what's he going to do? They can't really do a Battle Royal anymore.
I have an idea. You'll hear it. My next report comes from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Dave Meltzer, he stated that some matches were changed for WrestleMania, mainly because Rey Mysterio and Dana Brooke have been quarantined. Yes, they have both been quarantined quarantined due to concerns of the coronavirus, which is why Dana Brooke was removed from the WrestleMania match. Now it's just a Fatal 5-Way, and that's why there's no U.S. title match at WrestleMania, because Rey Mysterio more than likely was going to be the man that Andrade faces. But now that's not happening. They were actually the first ones to be quarantined. So what were your thoughts on this?
If anybody's going to be sick like they are, it is a good idea that they're not going to use them in the situation that we are in now. Dana Brooke being pulled out of the match was a good idea. I was wondering what Rey Mysterio was being pulled from, but like you said, it was probably going to be a U.S. title match that got changed in the last minute. So, anything that they're doing to keep people from getting sick and others from getting even more sick is fine by me.
This was actually the biggest news story that broke. Actually, before we get into the biggest news story, I have a quote from WrestleVotes, a tweet from WrestleVotes. They tweeted out something regarding the Saturday portion of WrestleMania 36. It was a tweet on Tuesday, I believe. They tweeted, and I quote, talked with a source who said, "Don't be surprised to see a women's match, parentheses, Becky versus Baszler, close the parentheses, as a main event on the Saturday portion of WrestleMania lineup. Lineup is being worked on now, upwards of 16 total matches, likely 8 per show," end quote. Why is Becky versus Baszler main eventing night 1? It's not even the best. It's not even the best story being built. It's not even the best story being built. This current version of Becky Lynch is one of the worst that I think I've seen Becky Lynch in ever since that match with Sasha Banks. Ever since the Hell in a Cell match with Sasha Banks, Becky's been on a decline. She's a great wrestler, but she's basically become the new Seth Rollins. I'm sorry. Girls cringe. She's cringy. And Shayna Baszler, on top of that, they have not even mentioned once what's going on with Survivor Series. They haven't even mentioned it once. And that was the blueprint of the feud. You look like you gotta say something. What is it?
I just remembered. I need to talk about my hot take on the main events and the world titles.
Please do.
So, I think what they're going to do, because I cannot expect any less from this company, I think Brock versus Drew will likely main event the first night for the WWE Championship. I don't know what they're going to do with Goldberg now with the news that we found out on Thursday.
Which we will talk about.
He's going to keep his title.
We will talk about it.
And then on night 2, because like I said, you can expect less from this company, we're going to see Brock versus Goldberg in a winner-take-all match. Which is going to be whenever Brock, because he's a man apparently, and cannot stop being a man, needs to hold all the belts.
No.
Always needs to have a belt.
No.
I don't want to see it, but it's WWE.
Speaking of this report, Pro Wrestling Sheet first broke the news on Thursday that Roman Reigns was pulled from his match with Goldberg. Allegedly, and I say allegedly because I don't believe that this was the reason, allegedly was because Roman expressed his feelings of being uncomfortable with competing in the PC during this pandemic with his weak immune system from his battle with leukemia, and apparently Miz was also pulled from WrestleMania, according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider. He was pulled from WrestleMania due to concerns of COVID-19, and apparently he has backstage heat with Roman Reigns and the Usos for showing up sick to work. PW Insider also reported that Andrade suffered a rib injury, and he is no longer in his match at WrestleMania. Dave Meltzer then reported that Bobby Lashley was being quarantined, so he will likely miss WrestleMania due to him traveling to South Africa. That tour got postponed, and he was scheduled to appear on the March 16th episode, never featured on the show because of what happened. But back to Roman Reigns. All these people then started coming out. Asuka coming out. Cesaro came out. All these people started coming out, and they're all missing WrestleMania. But allegedly, this was supposedly because of his weak immune system. Now, normally that makes sense, and I would be a little bit more accepting of that fact, but do I believe it was because of his leukemia? No. No, I don't. I believe that did play a factor into it. However, it really wouldn't make any sense for him to wait till the day of WrestleMania filming, especially with his match that more than likely than not was going to main event the show. It wouldn't make sense for him to say, "Hey, I don't want to film on that night." It wouldn't really make sense for him to do that because he is a locker room leader, and that would look rather unprofessional. And if I know Roman as a dude, I would know for a fact that more likely than not, he would have said something 2 weeks ago when this thing really blew up. This has been going on since the beginning of the month. I don't think Roman would be so unprofessional to wait until the day of filming. I think he probably would have said something, and more likely than not, he would have gotten his wish, considering that he is one of the top guys over there. He is well respected, and more likely than not, he would have gotten sent home, and he wouldn't have been part of this entire build between him and Goldberg for the Universal Championship. I don't think this was because of his leukemia. I think that this was because of the simple fact that he was not willing to work under these types of circumstances because he knows that this entire scenario with Vince McMahon pushing forward WrestleMania with no audience is bullshit. And to be quite honest, if that's the case, my respect has boosted immensely for Roman Reigns. A lot of people get on me. A lot of people are always swinging from my nutsack, like, "Oh my God, you hate Roman Reigns. You hate Roman Reigns." No, I don't. I hate his booking. I hate the character that they force upon us every single week. I respect the man. Man's a very admirable worker. Must be a great father. Must be a great human being. Guy's a very respectful individual. I just hate the way that they've been portraying his character. And to be quite honest, if he really walked out because of the fact that he's not willing to work under these types of circumstances, you know what? I applaud the guy. Now, as far as speculation is concerned, a lot of speculation has been created as to who's replacing Roman. WrestleVotes actually tweeted out a GIF of Strowman, yes, Braun Strowman, the moron among men, Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns embracing on the night that Roman announced that he had leukemia. And this created a huge rumor that Strowman would be replacing Reigns. However, I did find out from Earl Cole, who was in the chat earlier, if you are concerned, they really should just postpone WrestleMania, Big Boy Johnny. If you are concerned with what Braun Strowman is tweeting, I assume that a lot of you have been blocked by him. I'm surprised I haven't been blocked by him. Apparently, Strowman has implied on his Twitter that he is not working events due to the coronavirus. And that could be a possible reason why he lost the Intercontinental Championship to Sami Zayn. I'm actually surprised I didn't give it back to Nakamura, since Nakamura came to WWE to wrestle Daniel Bryan. But apparently, more likely than not, he notified WWE before Elimination Chamber that he didn't want to work events due to the coronavirus, and they took the title off of him. He hasn't been seen since Elimination Chamber. And it wouldn't really make sense for Strowman to be Roman's replacement, considering what took place here and how Braun Strowman isn't even working events due to the coronavirus. He has been seen since Elimination Chamber. So again, it really wouldn't make any sense. Now, if you're asking me what I would do, considering that Samoa Joe is coming back, I would have Goldberg throw down an open challenge, and you can have Samoa Joe come out there, choke out Goldberg, and win the Universal Championship. You can have Joe win the title that he should have won from Brock Lesnar back at Great Balls of Fire in 2017. Or, and I've seen a lot of people throwing this idea around, you could have The Fiend and John Cena on night one. You could have The Fiend beat John Cena. And you could have The Fiend go on to night two and beat Goldberg for the Universal Championship and right the wrong from 2020 Super Showdown on February 27th. What were your thoughts on all this? What are your thoughts on all this?
It kind of saddens me that Braun's decision to want to not be on TV was the only reason that Sami Zayn won the Intercontinental title.
He's the luckiest motherfucker on the face of the planet, Sammy.
I do like your idea, like, if they were to somehow next week say, okay, Cena and Wyatt, you're now going to be competing for number one contender to Goldberg's title now that Roman Reigns isn't in the match. That'd be kind of cool. And then, yeah, The Fiend winning back the title on night to WrestleMania would be cool.
What about?
I wasn't completely against The Fiend losing the title just because I kind of knew what they were going with. And I think what they went with was going to be a better idea compared to what they were going to do before they changed their plans. But if The Fiend would be Goldberg, that would be something that could probably...
Should have been The Fiend and Cena for the Universal title. The story would have been a lot better.
It could have been that too.
It should have been.
And Roman and Goldberg could have been without the title.
Or you could have just had Roman and Goldberg off WrestleMania, period, and I would have jumped for joy.
That too.
I like the latter.
I had Roman in a title match.
Roman and title match is pure AIDS, especially with this character that he's portraying.
I just think it was going to be too early anyway for Reigns to have a title match at WrestleMania just after his big heroic comeback, I guess you could say. I was excited whenever he came back from leukemia as well, but I didn't really like the narrative that you had to cheer him now because he fought leukemia. It's like, okay, I like the human being for the fact that he survived, but that doesn't completely mean I have to like the character still. Roman
shouldn't be in a title match until his character is corrected. Guy is a flop as a babyface. The guy's never going to be fully accepted, especially after what he did. The guy needs to turn heel. Will they do it? No. Because this company is too proud. Specifically, Vince McMahon is too proud to admit that he has flopped with the Roman Reigns character since 2015. I don't need to say it over and over again. I think I pretty much established it.
Right.
What's going to be... Do you think Braun Strowman's going to be the actual replacement?
I hope not. Because if he does, it's like a lose-lose situation. Either Goldberg wins and it's like Braun loses again, or Braun wins, but he only wins because he had to, not because it was his time.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't even know. I'm just drained. I'm drained, man. We've been going for over 2 hours. I'm completely drained of everything. I swear to you, if I was WWE, I wouldn't even show the pre-recorded WrestleMania that they did. I wouldn't even show it. I would just postpone the entire event. I really would. You lost about like 10 superstars from the show, and you had to make all these quick decisions right then and there. I wouldn't even have the show. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't even have the show. I would erase the footage they recorded, and I would just postpone it. I really would. Because, to be quite, I really don't want to watch any wrestling whatsoever after WrestleMania. I really don't. I'm just done. The only reason why I'm doing this, and the only reason why I'm doing a rundown and a rewind for WrestleMania, is for content reasons. Because I want to grow my channel. That's it.
Right.
I don't know. I'm done. I'm done, man. I'm absolutely done. Would you like to say any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I'll tell people again, you can follow me at Blue Riott on Twitter. You can also follow my podcast at Blue Riott Pod. You can also find the Blue Riott Podcast on iTunes and Spotify. There's 4 episodes currently. My first 3 are with my first guest host named Spencer, and then episode 4 is with DJ Storms himself. And then there's also my Patreon that you can pledge to at patreon.com/Blue Riott Pod. Not to try to look like a guy that's trying to gain sympathy, wink wink, but I just recently found out a couple days ago that I will not be going back to work for another few weeks. So any help during this time would be very much appreciated. I would thank you all for that.
doing another podcast.
At some point.
Better organize it after WrestleMania. Cause
if you send me hate speech in my DMs on Twitter, I will do things.
I'm not. When have I ever sent you a hate speech?
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the guy in the live chat.
Do things. Ethan, let me tell you something. Ethan's usually a quiet guy, but like when you piss him off, he's an animal. Ethan is an animal. But ladies and gentlemen,
Big Boy Johnny, my Twitter is Blue Riott. That is my main account, and my podcast account is Blue Riott Pod.
Ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Keep up the good work, ladies and gentlemen of the posse. Share the stream out everywhere that you can. I want you guys to see if you can get this video to 20 likes before my next upload. My next upload, I would say, should probably be next Wednesday. I'm going to upload the first quarantine video with my good friend JB Thunder, my personal drummer. Of course, you may know him from the years and years and years that me and him have gotten together, and he has played me in on the drums. The guy is an absolute beast. Shout out to him. You guys already know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all that. I hope you guys have a damn good weekend. Go get some sleep. Sleep in tomorrow. New Jersey's going on lockdown, so I'm going to be completely locked in this room for at least 2 weeks, so I'm definitely going to have a lot of time on my hands. I actually got to get an individual write-up for college done. Ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Storms, the greatest fucking wrestling analyst and the greatest YouTuber on this planet. He's the Blue Riott. I am going to bed. You have a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.